Hey everyone, Brandon here with GallowayPrecision. Today we are going to go over the installation of our newest product for the Canik SF Elite series of pistols. This spring kit will also work in the SFX and the Combat SF, as internally they are all the same. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to point out these are not bastardized Glock and Walther springs. We actually sent the blocker spring off to our spring maker and the trigger return spring, and hence springs specifically made for the Caniks. There's a lot of spring kits out there. I know it shares commonality on certain things with the Walther and a lot of Glock blocker springs, but this is specifically made exactly for this pistol. Alright, so just wanted to get that out there, let everybody know this isn't going to be a half-ass spring kit. This is specifically made for the Canik series, TP9 series of pistols, the Elite, the Combat Elite, and the SFX. We also have another kit that is for the V2, the DA, the SA, pretty much all the other models left, and we'll be doing a video for that one in the next day or two as well. Alright, first things first, let's go over tools you're going to need. You need a pair of needle-nose pliers. You need your bench block. You're going to need a 3/32 pin punch. You need your right angle pick. You need a 1/16 pin punch and your brass polymer hammer. Alright, so first things first, let's go ahead and lock and clear the weapon. We are visually and physically empty. Go ahead and drop mag, set that off to the side. We're going to start with the slide first. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take the slide off. If you own this weapon, as you know, it doesn't come all the way off, which is kind of a neat design the way they've done it. But if you ever really wanted to make it that way, honestly all it is the cut in the back plate's missing. So if you get your hand on a back plate for one of the other TP models, it'll fit the slide. Go right on. Alright, so we've got the slide off. Let's set our frame off to the side. I'm going to take our guide rod and barrel out. Now we're going to be faking the funk a little bit on this one, just for the simple fact that the spring company did not send our sample springs back, which came directly out of the pistol. So the springs I pull out are going to look just like this set, but I will explain the differences in what you're going to see stock and what you're going to see in ours. Now, right off the bat, our blocker spring is blue. All right, the whole thing's blue. The one you're going to pull out is going to be kind of a darker copperish, silverish color, almost the same color as our trigger return springs. What you're going to pull out. Okay, so what I like to do, I like the way that they did the slide in the Canik with the extractor. You just push in the takedown, all right, and you can push the extractor out some. Now that comes in handy because we don't need to completely remove the extractor to change the blocker spring. So I'll take my bench block and I'll set it here. I'll push in on that. While I'm pushing in on that, I'll take my other hand and I'll just push the extractor out a little bit. And as you can see, people calling me. As you can see, what it does is it starts to let the blocker out. Now it's enough room that if you do it slowly, this will just kind of rise out. If you do it real fast, this will fly out. And if you pull it out all the way, the second plunger behind the blocker will pop out too. And these things are under some pretty heavy spring tension, so be very careful here. All right, go ahead and pull that out. And as you can see, the extractor is just going to sit just like that. All right, so leave the extractor that way. We're going to take our old blocker spring, our stock one. We're going to take it, set it in our bag of goodies. Oh, man. And then try not to do what I just did, which can be a pain in the butt. Grab it right by the extractor. All right, so you want it sitting on that push pin just like that. You want to see the outer curve of the extractor body right here, about halfway in this circle. Okay, so we're going to take our new blocker spring and put it in the blocker like so. Now with this blocker, when you go to reinstall it into the slide, you want the flat wide cutout facing the outside of the slide. That's where the extractor has a cutout in it as well that interacts right here so that the blocker doesn't go flying out of the pistol. Alright, so we're going to lay it right in like that and compress the blocker and just push the extractor home. Once you push the extractor home, you'll feel more than hear the click. The extractor's in place. Just push on your blocker. Alright, we're good. Push on your extractor pin. It may pop the extractor back out, but go ahead and just pop it back in. Both pins are good. We're done with the slide. Let's go ahead and put your barrel, your guide rod back in. And next we're going to move on to the grip frame. Now, here's where faking the funk's going to come into play. The spring that is stock on your SF Elite is actually 3 separate pieces. All right, so your stock spring is going to have your center coil, and then it's going to taper down on both ends. All right, so on this end there's another piece of spring that is stuck inside the coils and then wrapped tightly around the trigger bar. All right, that right there, that's what it's connected to. As you can see, when I move that, the whole trigger bar moves. You can pull your trigger, watch everything move. Okay, so in order to get it off, because not only is it crimped here around the trigger bar, but the front piece is going to be a tighter loop as well. Now, the reason you won't have that issue with ours is because the way the loop is, once it's under tension, it's not coming off of here. Okay, so the fact that it's open on both sides is perfectly fine. And as you'll notice, both sides are the same opening. Okay, there's not one that's smaller than the other, so that this can be put in either direction and still work perfectly fine. All right, so in order to take out your stock one, which you're looking at right now, remember what I said, you'll have your center body, you'll have another piece that's inside of here that's crimped around your trigger bar, and then you'll have another piece coming out this side that is pretty much crimped around this part of the fire control unit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and set it on our bench block, take our 3/32 pin punch, everything lined up, our hole lined up, we're going to drive it out. Sometimes you may want to just do what I did and off-center it off of the bench block, because the slide lock levers do kind of get in the way, makes it hard to set it flat. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to partially pull the fire control unit up and out. Okay, what you're looking for is you want the trigger bar come up just that much, just like that, because remember, it's stuck. It's been completely circled around this tab. So what you'll do then is you'll take your needle nose and you'll take and pull your stock one off just like that. Now the front's probably not going to come off as easy as this is going to, because it's a slightly smaller curve, but you're just going to push it off forward. All right, and if you have any problems, since we're replacing this spring, you can actually grab the center of your stock spring and kind of just pry just a little bit to open that up, and it'll slide right out. Now, because we don't need to do that, we can go ahead and push our fire control unit back in, go ahead and drive our roll pin back in, finishing it off with the 3/32 punch. Make sure it's equidistant. Because you don't want to be out on the range having a good day and you got that pin sticking out one side too far or the other, it's going to cut into your hand. It's not very pleasant. Alright, so you'll take your stock spring, you'll put it in your bag of goodies. Now you're going to take your new Galloway spring, and we're going to hook it on the front first. Alright, just like so. Then we're going to take our needle nose pliers. Make sure that the spring's swung out like that. We're going to grab it, and we're going to get it down behind the trigger bar. It can be a little tricky, but once it gets seated, you can see where it grabs in the groove of the trigger bar. And now that it's under tension, we're going to do a little, make sure everything's moving the way it should. Just sit there and work the trigger a little bit. Alright, so we're good there. Everything's put back the way it should be. So we're going to go ahead and put our slide back on. Now we're going to do a function test. Pull without depressing the safety blade. Trigger doesn't move. Safety. Striker falls. Hold the trigger back. Rack. Reset. Done. And as you saw, I'll include the Instagram video at the end of the install video so you can see our 5-pole test. But we're averaging, with this kit installed, you're going to average between a 3 and 4 pound trigger pull now as opposed to the 5 or 6 stock rate. So pretty big reduction in the pull. Really makes a difference pull weight wise in this pistol, and it's growing on me, I'm not gonna lie. Been doing some testing with it and whatnot. Oh, hey now, Sharknado. No, don't sue us, Sci-Fi. Been doing some playing with it. We've got the guide rod for the SF Elite in the works right now. We also have the SFX guide rod drawn up as well. So we're diving pretty deep into this. Had a question yesterday on the trigger pull test video. People noticed there were no sights on it. I put them back on for the install video, but yes, we had one of the administrators from Canik Fanatic Forum send us their Combat Elite and the plates, so we will be able to offer slide milling very shortly for the Elites, the SAs, anything without a decocker on it. We'll be able to mill. We'll be making the plates ourselves. We'll probably just do 2 plates. We'll do 1 plate for the RMR and the Delta Point. They have a different mounting footprint, but we can put the screw holes in a couple different places for that, and then the other one will be for Burris Vortex footprint, which you can get away with the Fastfire 3, Fastfire 2, Venom, Viper, Shield RMS, RMSC, or J-Point, because they all share a mounting footprint where the screws go. So we'll probably do 2 plates. We'll have this one milled, for an example, in the next couple of weeks, and should have the guide rod ready for it as well. So then once we have the milling done, guide rod with spring kit, we're working on a trigger. We're talking to Canik right now. As you can see, I tore the frame up on this one, trying to get some of these pins out, seeing if they do an armor course, because we obviously don't want you tearing up your gun. We tear up our guns, so you don't have to. So we're talking to them, seeing what special tools and things they have for taking these apart at the factory, see if we can get an armor course with them, so we can develop some new ways to do that, so that changing this trigger out is much easier. But we are working on a 3D printed flat face for this one and for the other TP9s. And that's going to wrap it up, guys. If you got any questions, feel free to email me at tech, that's Tango Echo Charlie Hotel, at GallowayPrecision.com. Be sure to follow us on social media here on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe below. Be sure to go by the Facebook page or the website and sign up for the monthly newsletter. Be the first to know what the monthly sale is going to be. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Vimeo. And as always, be safe, be accurate, and God bless. So it turns out, in my infinite wisdom, I accidentally erased the trigger pull test video off the camera that we posted on Instagram, so we'll just go ahead and do another one to add at the end of the video here. Alright, so clearing it up. We're cocked and ready to go, so we'll do a 5-pole average. Here we go. One more. go, right at 4 pounds. It fluctuates between 3 and 4 pounds. On a 10 pull yesterday, I got like 3.9 something, 3 pounds, 9 something ounces. So it makes a huge difference in the pull weight on this little bad boy. And so now let's go do some shoesting. Alright, so we still got a nice short reset and pull, just much lighter now. Let's go ahead and bust some rounds off.